Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and here I'll be showing off the missions of Sonic Generations. All of them. Except for the ones that I decided to show off in the main playthrough, of course. I really love Amy's model in this game. Like, she looks really good. I don't really like her classic model, though. I mean, I know it's based off the classic design, but she looks really weird. I think it's the muzzle or something. I don't know. But I really do like playing as Amy. I kind of wish that she had her hammer out when she was jumping, but I like that running animation and everything like that. And I love the pink blur that she gets when she boosts. This is a mission about avoiding getting grabbed by the spiders, but I actually get grabbed by it once. And I thought that I would die from that and have to do the mission again, but I didn't. So it's like the mission lied to me about what its objective was. That's a common, see? It didn't fail. That's a common occurrence with the mission objective, is that the game doesn't always do a good job telling you what the mission objective is and what will fail you. Like, it's not always 100% clear. But yeah, practically like 99% of the missions in this game are fun, easy, they have a short time limit, and they generally seem to feel like they have different level design. If anything, the Badnik bounce is overpowered in this game. I don't remember it being that great in the classic games. These things are really annoying. Like, these blocks, these giant things, like I could have sworn that I've been in this level design before, in like the modern version of this stage. And at one point in the mission, all I wanted to do, well, maybe it's not this mission, but a later mission in Modern Chemical Plant, but I just wanted to jump into the orange ring, go onto that grind rail with the exploding explosions already. Out of all of 9 made stages in this game, 3 of the stages are based on the very first levels of their respective games: Green Hill, City Skateboard Hero Story, and Seaside Hill. The 3DS version has Green Hill, Mushroom Hill, the first stage of Sonic & Knuckles, Emerald Coast, and Tropical Resort. Crisis City was the technical example because this is pretty egomaniacal. Amy's talking to Amy. But yeah, Crisis City is sort of a cheat because it was technically Silver's first stage, but Silver's probably not going to be. In fact, it's impossible for him to be the first character you play as an 06 because you have to unlock him. But it is technically a first level, and Speed Highway was, well, Knuckles' first level, and Radical Highway was Shadow's first level. The level variety in this game is not exactly perfect, and this is because the way Sega determined how exactly to put which levels in the game is that fans were pulled on levels. Basically, Sega was so clueless that they actively had to pull their fans to find out what were the favorite levels of the game, of the franchise. And dying there made me think that they lied to me about my mission objective, and I wasn't allowed to get hit at all, but that wasn't really the case. I was just kind of confused about why I died. You only have one ring here. I kept getting thrown off by the fact that Blaze, she looked smaller than I expected, and she seemed to jump a lot higher than I thought she would. But I really do like this though. Like, this is really great how there's so many orange rings just launching you through this a lot faster than normal. It also helps that, you know, I don't want the computer to freeze on me in there, so it's good that I'm not being made to. Those things are really annoying. Like, why are all these things here? I'm expected to boost towards something and then slide under it, but I've also got to avoid all those things. With the exception of the Egg Dragoon of Sonic Unleashed, all of the bosses in the HD versions can only take half the hits the 3DS version's bosses can. They take 4 hits, as opposed to 8 in 3DS version. So Egg Dragoon is actually the only boss in Generations that takes 8 hits to kill. That's part of what made it feel so padded out. Jumping up to Metal Sonic can be kind of annoying because of the ceiling, the way it's placed. You kind of had to do a bit of a precise jump to get up to him. Chaos looks kind of weird here, like, I think it was literally a day ago at the time of this recording that I found out that Chaos was coming back in Sonic Forces, and he looked much better there because here he looks transparent. Like, I know water is supposed to be all clear and transparent, but sometimes he looks almost white, and it's really weird, especially since you can so clearly see his solid brain. And it brings to the question of like how his brain is solid and he's able to function as a being, and yet the rest of him is not solid. I don't know. Also, the HUD looks really weird, like the font that the time limit is in. I do like the model in general though, but I think he looks better in Forces where he's actually the right color. When playing Sonic 1 on the console version of this game, a top score and time can be recorded, but you have to beat Sonic 1 to actually save that data for some reason. So if you don't feel like going through the entirety of the game in one sitting, then there's really no point to trying to play it. Like, there's like 19 versions of Sonic 1 out there. You could probably play Sonic 1 in your toaster at this point. So, I don't see why they bother making so many different re-releases of the game. Like, you think it would be Sonic 2 that they do instead because everyone worships that game. And I would say Sonic 3 since it's so much better, but they're ashamed of Sonic 3 because they had that soundtrack with Michael Jackson that led to copyright issues where they can't re-release the game anymore. And honestly, I like the soundtrack of Sonic 3 Knuckles, but I don't think that was worth it, you know? I just want Sonic 3 to be referenced a lot more, that's all. Because usually it's just Sonic and Knuckles that's referenced. And I didn't like Sky Sanctuary Zone, I didn't like Lava Reef Zone, I sure as hell didn't like Sandopolis Zone. There's only 2 good levels in the whole game. I don't know. Anyways, in the HD versions, the classic era is the only era without a city level in it. While in the 3DS version, the modern era is the one without a city level. Like, this game has a lot of city levels, which makes sense since the city levels are generally the best ones in Sonic, like Rooftop Run and City Escape. Technically, Speed Highway and Radical Highway took place in a city, in the sense that they were like a road in a city. Is it just me, or does the Sonic Doppelganger look like the clone of Sonic that you make in Sonic the Fighters? Like the gray Sonic that results. I wonder if that was an intentional reference. Probably not. I don't think Sega even remembers Sonic the Fighters. Because that was one of the greatest soundtracks in Sonic history. Right up there with the adventure games. Not nearly as good as those, but still, and you think that they would at least have an unlockable song from there. Like, at least give me Death Egg, like the Metal Sonic theme, or Giant Wing. That's the annoying thing, is that there's so many different unlockable songs in the soundtrack of this game, but a lot of the times they seem to have some bizarre choices, or they leave out some really good songs, and oh my god, I really do hate Amy's new voice. It's worse than Cream at times. And you'll notice how long it took for me to find out how I was supposed to get up here. It took me a long time to figure out that this was actually a timing minigame. Basically, you basically have to wait for a while before pressing the Y button, or Amy won't launch you high enough. I think you have to wait until the bar gets to yellow. How are you supposed to know that? Like, this reminded me of when she launches you up with a hammer in, I think it was either the Advanced Games multiplayer, or maybe she was a partner in Advanced 3, I don't know. I never really bothered having her as a partner in Advanced 3. Like, I did one time, but I sorely regretted it. I just don't understand why you can't just play this mission as Amy in the actual game. Except, the only difference is that she has that Y button attack that lets her launch you up like this. I don't know why you can't just go through this mission as Amy, but with the same gameplay except for this. It's such a missed opportunity. I mean, I really like this mission now that I know what to do. But figuring out how you're supposed to handle the mechanic is kind of frustrating and unintuitive. I don't really like Jet all that much. Sonic's rival from Sonic Riders. I like how he's not completely one-dimensional. Like, he has a passion for treasure, but not complete obsession. Like, he's enthusiastic about it, but that's not his entire character. Like, if anything, like he's really focused on trying to prove that he's better than Sonic, which is weird because, like, he only just found out about Sonic being known as faster than him in Sonic Riders 1, and yet that became practically his entire character afterwards. Like, he's kind of a spoiled brat, like, irresponsible while Wave is nagging him. Like, he's supposed to be the leader, but he's really not. He's basically a thief, like one of the Babylon Rogues. The Babylon Rogues don't entirely work as characters because they don't really show any family bonding moments that make you care about them. Especially in the first Riders game, they're mostly just bickering and you feel like someone in the backseat of a car. So it's kind of hard to care. Like, there's this one time where Wave asks if he's okay in the end of Riders Zero Gravity, when they have this weird reveal that apparently the Babylon Rogues came from outer space, even though that was never alluded to before. And at the end of the first Riders game, we found out that they were genies, or descendants of them, anyways. I really don't see why they bothered giving them those weird backstories. I don't know why they couldn't just be like thieves of the air. Like, another weird thing is that people think that the Babylon Rogues being thieves and Fang the Sniper being a jewel thief makes Rouge obsolete. But the thing is that Rouge has so many different roles that she can play. She's the conscience of Team Dark. Like, even though she's a thief, she's still the most moral person next to, like, Shadow and Omega. Like, Shadow's more of a neutral character, and Omega is very much focused on revenge against Eggman. So, you have this ironic situation where a jewel thief is actually the conscience, the angel on Shadow's shoulder. And, like, she can be an antagonist, she's never outright evil, but she can be an antagonist, or she can be a good guy. She's good at hiding plot twists. A lot of people only remember her for her... These spikes are really cheaply placed, by the way. But yeah, a lot of people only remember Rouge for her fan service-y appearance, which is kind of misaimed since she's, you know, a bat. And that's sad because she is basically my favorite female character, at least in SA2 anyways, where she had that great sense of humor, teasing the other characters. But not in a flirtatious way at all. I don't see how Fang makes her obsolete, when Fang is nothing like her. Like, Fang is a comic relief kind of oaf. Like, he burns himself with his own inventions, but he's also a very highly skilled sniper when you get right down to it, and he has this huge criminal gang of friends. Rouge isn't in a criminal gang, she just sort of is the only criminal. So I don't really see... Like I would be so annoyed if Fang didn't get brought back as a character in Sonic Mania. Like, there's rumors that he might actually be there as a boss fight, but you also have Iizuka saying that, oh, I consider the classic Sonic world to be a completely separate world from the modern world, even though Generations firmly established that classic Sonic is 5 years younger than modern Sonic, and it's just the past. It's not an alternate dimension or anything. Yeah, I'm starting to think that Takashi Iizuka doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't really care about the lore. Like, the last time they did an interview of him on Sonic lore, he was laughing the entire time and just pulling stuff out of his ass. So I don't know. Like, I don't know why they can't bring back characters like Mighty and Fang. Just because they're part of the classic era doesn't mean that they shouldn't be brought to the modern era. Like Amy is literally just as much of a classic character as Fang is. She was only relevant in one game, Sonic CD, and the rest was relegated to spin-offs. And I don't consider the Game Gear games to be a spin-off when they're 2D Sonic games, and 2D Sonic games were the main games back then. Like, just because they were on inferior hardware doesn't really mean anything. Why are these things here? I really hated these springs from Skyrail. Like, they're so pace-breaking. Letting go of the control pad is the most reliable way to make sure that you actually hit these things with your homing attack. And once you reach an arbitrary vertical height limit, you can't raise them anymore, but you have no idea of knowing when exactly that height limit has been reached. They're so annoying, and they even make the same sound too. I think some nostalgic references are better left behind. This is a pretty annoying mission as level design. Like, it's very misguided because it's all about unlocking a larger boost meter. But the problem is that aside from this, the level design is not at all suited for actually taking advantage of the boost, even though the mission objective was to take advantage of the boost to beat the level. And the thing is that you think that this skill would be awesome, but the problem is that it requires a ridiculous amount of skill points to equip, and I'm not sacrificing better controls for a larger boost meter when I barely ever run out of boosts as it is. Like, it requires, I think, over 60 or exactly 60 skill points. This is the biggest problem with the skill meter, is that it's too restricted. It's not broken enough. Like, again, in Sonic and the Secret Rings, there's a huge amount of skills that you can equip at once. Why did they decide to limit it now? It kind of, like, there are people who don't even play with skills at all. Yeah, controlling in 3D isn't really, it's still awkward. There's really nothing that can be done about that. Like, if I had a GameCube controller with an analog stick, then it would be fine. And the HD versions of the game had the highway stage of Sonic Adventure 1, and the first stage of Sonic Adventure 2. The 3DS version is the opposite. It has the first stage of Sonic Adventure 1, and the highway stage of Sonic Adventure 2.